So just 250 to 300 meters away from that location of where they both are located. So this clearly states that how they were all in link as well, and they were in constantly touch also. While the Mateen family is saying that they have not been in connection with him since 2019 after he absconded, but yes, his connection was still seen strongly with the Sharik, Yasin, Maj Munir and Hasin and also Arfat Ali as well. So this seems a very a big a spider web in that way, that we can say, which the police will have to really crack down and unearth this whole plan of what they had it and how they were planning for anything alleged big plans as well that they had it. So yes, now the whole matter is under the investigation. Police will try to bring out more details after the once they get to see the recovery of Sharik, who is right now admitted in the hospital as he had sustained 45% of the burn injuries.
Right. Now, Ritu, does the Mateen family or Mateen Taha's family recognize Sharik? How long has Sharik been living in that area, and were these two seen together socially, publicly?
See, what locals are saying us on ground is that yes, they were in touch in the late in the 20s as they were in, because now Sharik, 24-year-old, is also absconding from a long time because he moved from here. After that, you see in the 2020 in the Mangaluru graffitis case that he was been booked under UAPA. Since then, he was also absconding from his location. One, he does not have a father and the mother. He has the sister and the relatives. So yes, they too had lost a contact with him for a long time. He was not constantly in touch with the family members, we do know that. So since 2020 is when the Sharik is absconding, but locals say yes, because they have grown up together, they have they knew each other very well, the Maj Munir, Sharik and also the Mateen Taha as well. So say they all had a strong connection, because Mateen Taha is the one actually who's a main person. Now the police is looking forward. He's the one who's been accused of radicalizing these other members also, like the Maj Munir, Yasin, Hussein and Sharik too. But Sharik happens to be very clever and intelligent in that way that he really started learning things on his own, but he was seeking the help of the Arfat Ali, who was helping him out with the financial aid, and the Mateen Taha with the explosive materials, because police did track that how he was purchasing few explosive materials online also and offline too. It's the Mateen Taha in fact who has also taught about the Bitcoin Bitcoin establishment, the Bitcoin business also to the Sharik too. So that also shows that how close connection they all had it, though they weren't in connection with the family members.
So there are connections. There is also the aspect of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency that you're talking about, Ritu. Somewhere these people were in connect with each other, but investigations agencies and intelligence agencies saying that Sharik was a lone wolf. So were these people highly radicalized, but were they pursuing their own individual agendas or ways of what they wanted to do? That is again a big question mark, and we'll wait for more intelligence details or investigation details to surface. Ritu, thank you. Great job done. Thank you for your inputs. Let's quickly go across to Rashid Kidwai and Tushar Gupta, who are joining us this evening. Namaste, gentlemen. How would you see this rising instances of radicals or radicalism, and that's ISIS inspired, in the south of our country, Rashid ji?
I think, Anand, first and foremost, it's a very disturbing thing. And this is something that requires a holistic approach. When I say holistic approach, of course, law and order is a state subject. The central government, intelligence agencies, they need to do, 100%. Of course, there is no scope for failure. But we should avoid this kind of political tutu meme and belief game, whether it's, the present state government is responsible or not, or the previous government was, responsible for it. That would not serve the purpose. And also, first and foremost, we need to have, de-radicalization programs in place. In various states, in consultation with the community leaders. I have written about it extensively, and there is a need for, constant engagement. In some places like in Maharashtra and all, these radicalization programs are actually, working fine. There is no point, just trying to gloss over everything and say everything is fine. Everything is not fine. And a lot of disturbing things are happening in society, and we need to be very vigilant about it.
But the other aspect is that somewhere do you believe it's concerning that educated individuals are getting highly radicalized, and that too with a particular ideology which has been rejected largely by the Muslim world globally. Why should there be ISIS-inspired radicals on Indian soil, Rashidji? And is that also not a concern which should be raised within the community, amongst the educated, amongst the intelligentsia and the scholars?
Absolutely. I mean, Anand, you're spot on. We do not know what is the actual, the exact kind of numbers, etc. But the fact of the matter is, that's what I'm saying. There is a need for holistic approach. There is no point, pointing an accusing finger to a community or community leaders, etc. Real R is to, identify who are the, black sheep, who are the people who are getting radicalized, who are the people who are influenced, what is the international connection. And a lot of it, support is required from the government. A lot of support is required from within the community. So it has to work in tandem. So engagement is a key word.
But how do we do this? Because these are all pockets, these are all young individuals. A lot of them are engineers, Rashidji. Before I bring in Tushar, I'm asking you because I'm sure you would have also wanted to put a thought to it that this is something which is concerning. We don't want anybody to turn towards or get radicalized by modules or a theology or an ideology which has been rejected by by humanity. So I'm sure you would have wanted to put a finger. You cannot blame it on politics. You cannot just blame it on political opposition. Somewhere something is triggering all of this, isn't it? Amongst those who have received modern education, you can't even turn around and say that they are at the hands of some rabid clerics inside madrasas where they are being perhaps brainwashed, as some people would say, or as has happening in some of the madrasas in some places. Not all of them, and I'll be very clear about it. But these are all engineering students, engineers.
We've seen
So
this in
clearly they
Maharashtra
understand
also.
modern
And
education.
there is, yeah, so we have seen this trend kind of thing in Maharashtra, in that Pune or this area. We have seen some kind of similar trends. What I'm saying is there is no pattern. It's not that the madrasa people are getting radicalized or the educated people are getting radicalized. Remember, technology is a very big avenue. I mean, technology plays all kind. So there is a lone wolf. There is someone who, in his or her mind, gets some kind of these ideas. We can go on criticizing, but that's a different chapter. And they, in the sense, they establish contact. Sometimes I have known cases where parents do not know anything, friends do not know anything. That's, so to say, the community doesn't know. So all this thing requires a lot of gatekeeping approach, and there is a lot of things that the government, intelligence agencies, technology, surveillance, etc., can do. That's what I'm saying. There is no easy solution. And Anand, we must not remember the entire world is actually, struggling to find a, comprehensive response. You look at states, countries like
Correct.
Australia. There are a
See,
lot of people are getting radicalized.
there are challenges at various layers, Tushar. As I bring you in, thank you for your patience. One is, how do you stop them from being radicalized? Two, how do you stop the radicalized from further radicalizing others? Three, encrypted social media platforms and which are giving you the right to privacy, but then they are also raising a huge threat to national security and also society.
Good evening, Anand. Look, it's the top to bottom approach. Let's start from the top. What triggers? You're asking a very important question. What triggers this radicalization? Why are good students, young students who have graduated with engineering degrees, very technical subjects, turning to radicalization, turning to get themselves inspired by something like the Islamic State? Now, what happens, Anand, is that, in our media narratives, a lot of channels, a lot of outlets, they keep peddling this narrative about the anti-minority sentiment. Every second or third journalist will come up, oh, the CA is coming up, there is an anti-Muslim sentiment by the government. Oh, the hijab debate is coming up, there is an anti-minority sentiment. Oh, there is a ban on the PFI, there is anti-minority. So the vindication for all these radicals come from this media narrative. And then there are
Right.
people who give political cover fire. Anand, if you look closely, this is the same playbook in down south that was employed in Kashmir in the 90s and the 2000s. That there are a group of politicians aided by the media managers who convince the young minds on the ground that the government is against you, that the people of this country are against you, that the entire state machinery is against you, so you need to revolt. So what happens?
Right.
They find some literature online and it's very accessible. Unfortunately, they radicalize themselves and now they carry out lone wolf terror attacks. And then probably it's on your show. We've been talking about the possibility of such attacks for such a long time now, that this is the threat we face because of the radicalized that has been ushered by the PFI. And today, unfortunately, it's a reality. So the first aspect is these are people, some politicians in the being a opposition leader or a minority leader, a political fight. The media that, and how do we stop this? How do we stop radicals from radicalizing? How do we stop the innocents from being radicalized? And then this is difficult. Surveillance will radicalizing in their homes, prepared from the punishment anymore. Whoever Shakir was, whoever he was operating with, whoever he was living with, can they also be excused from the responsibility for what happened? That we're looking at. So at some point, state machinery, the law and order machinery, to start thinking around keep about surveillance, media platforms. And then the big challenges, data, the information flow is so fluid. So it's difficult for the government of the day form. The police that's what's going on with a child or one of the boys in the house or whoever it is, they also should be counted as criminals. It's a difficult suggestion, but that is what the government at the end of the day needs to do.
But the point is the law itself. See, most of the intelligence agencies, and not getting into the political aspect of it, the intelligence agencies are saying we have the inputs that these people are involved or engaging with outfits or engaging in conversations which border on radical, or that there is a cause for worry, cause for concern. But in a cause for concern or as preventive detention, you cannot hold a person indefinitely. You cannot stop them from getting bail or walking back out into the streets. And then and if they decide to travel abroad and or make the escape, like Mateen Taha has done, you cannot do it other than putting out a bounty. What do you do? It's not an intelligence failure, but that's how the rule of law is, because it is bail is mandatory, jail is optional, or this one. So bail first is the aspect, and you are innocent until proven guilty. So you may have an intelligence input which says, and intelligence officials say that they are highly radicalized, but what have they done in society for you to hold them back? Or because still an act is committed, you cannot adjudge them a criminal. So these are aspects which are something which we need to ponder and discuss at length. Rashidji, Tusharji, please stay with me. We got more inputs coming through, and this is not from the northeast of our country, from and again a hotbed for activity of the inspired Ansarullah. This is Nagaon area in Assam, where Abu Basar has now been picked up. The Nagaon police in Assam on charges of spreading terror propaganda. Abu Basar has been in the past interrogated by the CIA. He's completed his education in a madrasa in Lucknow and is suspected to be linked to the Ansarul Bangla team. Preeti Priyadarshini joins us. Yes, Preeti.
Abu Basar has been picked up by Nagaon police and they have stated that there are certain allegations that he might be involved with some kind of terrorist activities. Basically, he is a member of maybe Ansarul Bangla team. Interrogated by NIA, which now again he has been picked up. We try to talk with the ASP of Nagaon, Rupjyoti Kalita, who is actually leading this interrogation, and he has said that as of now they cannot speak regarding why he has been now again picked up, as was earlier also interrogated by NIA in the month of June for some kind of links with the organizations, basically Ansarul Bangla team. So he has stated that now the interrogation is going on. He has picked up. He was also linked to a local madrasa. However, he was educated. He has taken his education from a madrasa of Lucknow. But there are also certain links being said about certain activities he was involved with a local madrasa in Nagaon.
Right. Thank you for your inputs, Preeti. Rashid Kidwai and Tushar, please stay on with us. We've got the other story that's become a political hot potato and kicked up a huge storm in Delhi with the massage that the AAP minister has got from the hands of a POCSO rape accused inside the Tihar jail. We come back with those pictures and the story after a very short break. Stay with us.
He's sheer luck that this blast happened in an auto rickshaw when he was traveling alone. God forbid had it blasted off in a market railway.
it would have caused damage to the property of the people. I agree. I don't know the provisions for the bail when he was given bail. I don't know what are the conditions of the bail when he was given. Unfortunately, he was arrested and UPA, the court gave him the bail. I don't know. I don't believe he is not a harmless fellow. Okay. Again,
there are against this man. Of course, there was sort of on the Tunga River, where two of his associates and Syed Yasin, both were arrested. Sharik was reported absconding. There is now are coming in hindsight. There is evidence to show that he was in contact with Mateen Ahmed Taha, who is a known member of ISIS, Al-Hind ISIS. He was managing the Al-Hind ISIS activities in Karnataka. And that he also had met Jamisha Mubin, who was the which again happened a few weeks ago. And this man had the fact is that Islamist in India is a very best by the man Muhammad Shah. He moved around, he was in touch with known terror, and yet some people in the South tend to believe that radical Islamist terror is not a problem in the South.
Good evening, Zaka. The government, the center seems to be far active, jumping to action against octogenarian pastors as opposed to people who are actual real threats. First and foremost, I unequivocally condemn any act of terror, irrespective of from which denomination or which side. Anything that invokes violence and harm necessarily has to be clamped down upon. And I think fundamentalist terror across the South is something that is spreading. But the larger problem here is very simple bail order to be moving around freely. It's about tracking and a monitoring procedure that has failed, and especially in coastal Karnataka, which is so nascent, along with Shimoga as well. And agencies that coordinate in this situation like this, if they get out of hand, will foment far more communal and societal instability. And you realize this is the run going to be a very versus them election in my state. And this, more than anything else, is the government has to own up how there was such a massive lapse.
But Aishwarya Mahadev's point that BJP has been making is some political parties have been having a soft attitude on terror, some even having some kind of underhand, covert political understanding with of this group, at least terrorists. You're not going to run into the problem.
Zaka, I completely agree. And in coastal Karnataka, you see ruling dispensation hand in hand. They recently banned. You see two of their functionaries talking about how this organization was recently banned. That is something that is critical to their functioning. RSS, BJP Karyakartas also talking about the same. And I think that they've let us also hope that they do firm on this resolve.
Okay, let me get Tara Karta in. You know, there was a feeling that after the PFI ban, that a large part of the activities of such down. There is a feeling of intent in the center or to go after these guys. Fact, and again I keep saying this sheer bomb exploded on the shore where so far 2 people have been injured. It could have very well gone off in a railway station or in a crowded market, which and far less impactful or far less devastating than what it could have been. Is it time now for us to, remove the political rhetoric from this? Yes, you've banned PFI, but that is only the first step. That is not the nature of radical Islamic terror in South India.
I absolutely agree with you, Zaka. The fact is, we've seen a lot of of us, I think, are agreed that there have been multiple Islamic State in the Kerala. Sometimes not just about PF, it's about a number of groups which are acting together. And this has come from years in Kerala, which has for years been extremist. But Karnataka, the point is that this particular area has been viciously communized even during the Congress era. Let's forget that 1999 were riots in the whole also Karnataka has been the worst in terms of the burqa ban and so on and so forth.
The nation with big developments here. News 18 has charge filed in the Fogart murder case. The Delhi CBI team has filed the charge sheet at the JMFC court in Goa. The charge sheet is filed against both the accused Sudhir Sangwan and Sukhwinder Singh, and the charge sheet has been filed with to kill or conspiracy. When the next date of hearing is the 5th of December. Until more details.
So in Goa this since 22nd of August was the day rally was held in that in Curly's and in Anjuna in Goa. Today the CBI will go and file this charge. Various sections of IPC has been mentioned in it. This includes section 302, which is of murder, section 36, which means that they conspired to give something to her that could actually cause her death, and that has been imposed. The next that has been in this entire. So we are told that the police in the sheet mentioned that both these accused fed Sonali Fogart with a drink that was laced with drugs, and after Sonali Fogart health started deteriorating, they did take to the hospital. Now, we have found the CBI almost 2.5 months after they had taken over the case from the Goa.
Once again, getting the center of a controversy, and the BJP asking for the resignation of Satyendra or his controversy around the News 18. Sure, in that viral video in Tihar jail, named and accused in rape and charged on the means accused of rape minor. The BJP has supported the party and as party continues to build the trend. Meanwhile, Jain accused of leaking the videos, but more importantly, the Aam Aadmi Party's justification, trying to justify that Satyendra Jain was ailing and he needed some physiotherapy and physio attention. That argument tends to fall flat. Let's listen into what the BJP has to say.
कोई और राजनीतिक दल होता और इतना शर्मसार करने वाला कृत्य कि जेल की सलाखों के पीछे एक भ्रष्टाचारी कट्टर बेईमान मंत्री का मसाज होता है, उल्लंघन तो पार्टी का मुखिया जनता से संविधान की शपथ मैंने ली थी, उसका पालन मैं नहीं कर पाया। मेरा भ्रष्ट मंत्री कृत्य कर रहा है, मैं तुरंत
ये कहता हूं उनको में वो कह रहे हैं कि वो मसाज करा रहा है, ट्रीटमेंट है, वो फिजियोथेरेपी कर रहा है, डॉक्टर ने उनको रिकमेंड किया। ऐसा कोई वीआईपी ट्रीटमेंट सत्येंद्र जैन को नहीं मिल रहा।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी इतनी घटिया हरकत पर उतर आई कि किसी इंसान का उस सीसीटीवी फुटेज गलत तरीके से बाहर जाके उसको मन कहानियां सुना के आज किसी की बीमारी का मात ये लोग।
तुषार को और किसकी
questions because what I like to call all about party. I have a few questions. So number one, Satyendra Jain was sent to jail in June. On May 30th is when he was arrested. The videos are from mid-September. What injury pain? Then those days. One. Satyendra Jain when he was located by that he suffers from a condition of sleep. He needs to constantly his health parameters. तब physiotherapy injury की बात नहीं हुई. 3. First says that physiotherapy is so. I don't think Rinku in question, the masseur whose name has come in the limelight now, is anyway medically qualified to therapy session. Question. Come from why did the lawyer make no mention of it? Why did Arvind Kejriwal make no mention of it until the video surfaced? So of course these claims are falling flat. And now the Aam Aadmi Party
needed, and there should have been a petition sought by the to ask for a to the jail authority should have said yes, there is a permission and this certified doctor is rape accused, charged under so that is accused of raping a minor from whom the minister is seen getting a and the chief minister and the physio.
I think another conduct of minister concerned or for the minister of Delhi and all is that's the only thing one can think of. But Anand, why where is Delhi police in all this? Where is the jailers conduct? What are the courts doing? I mean, if something happened and it was I mean,
these are mid-September. Rashidji, timeline you should remember. These are mid-September videos after Mukesh Chandrasekhar's and the courts of the jail officials have been sacked. They've been action has been taken. This video is dated mid-September, and we are talking in between that action has been taken. But what's happening in Tihar is a huge concern for you. But look at what he was doing, and he was using phones which belong to ISIS group. So I had used the same phone. That also come using aware. G.
Yeah, and see, nothing has changed. The days of Charles Sobraj, who was hosting dinner there, and he had organized his from from Tihar jail till date. I mean, where are the jail reform? There is a government, very accountable government at the center which deals with law and order. Delhi police, Tihar jail comes under what is it doing?
Tihar jail comes under the state government, Delhi government. Tihar jail comes under the center.
I'm talking about
there is a three level layer of security. Yes, Tamil Nadu police, CRPF and Delhi police, but Tihar jail administration comes under the Delhi government.
No, but the 3 layers they report to Home Ministry.
Ji, Rashid ji,
I'm saying, Anand, the center, that also not responsibility. There is a in our there for years, for decades since the time of Charles Sobraj, and beyond that is documented in several books that some of my friends have written. You see, why is that government doesn't know anything? Everyone knows, and one day some kind of video comes in and a kind of the election going on.
But the government that is supposed to do something about it, under whom Tihar jail comes, its own minister is the one getting the massage. Rashid ji. Yes, you
what
can
about
ask
Lieutenant
question what is
Governor?
happening with
The
the center.
Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, it's been established by the court that Lieutenant Governor of Delhi has total supreme power. What is
No,
Lieutenant?
no.
What is LG?
The sacking and shunting out transfers and all have happened after the match came to light. But the fact is that what about the Aam Aadmi Party to the floor after again rather than the government being different. Now here what we're getting is platitudes and petitions which are not merit or able to stand on their own feet. Rather than petition, how did video come out? They should turn around and say somebody who's representing a party that claims of the highest moral standards doing something like this inside jail. Their own disciplinary committee has not taken any action.
Look at the irony of things. The case was first registered and he was arrested. Kejriwal comes out and says Satyendra Jain should get a Bharat Ratna for his service to the country. When the starts interrogating Satyendra Jain from memory loss. Now when these videos have surfaced, it's physiotherapy sessions by a POXO accused of all things. See, my understanding is that Arvind Kejriwal is trying to shield Satyendra Jain from day one. The question is why. We are also looking at the liquor scam case under the Delhi government. We are looking at several other scams under the Delhi government. So the question at the government needs to look at it. But the question is, why is Arvind Kejriwal so desperately shielding Satyendra Jain from day one when everything is out in for the fault? The memory, he has memory loss, as per the name of his lawyer Anand, but he's sitting in his jail cell looking at all the documents, all whatever he does. He's looking at all of them. I mean, nothing adds.
No, there would be also the explanation strategy that because he's suffering from memory loss, he has to look at those files again and again. So perhaps it is just a ready daily refresher which is happening. It is also possible. It is also possible that for somebody who has a spinal problem that you have to massage the ankles and the chin so that it's some relief.
No, I think this is very disturbing and requires authority probe and accountability. No just being when the elections are going on, this matter is being politicized. Whereas a lot of substantive actions are required inside Tihar, and I'm sure there must be many more in such instances. See, now this video has come out, but when did the authorities get to know about this video? These questions also need to be answered.
But
we just cannot draw comfort from mocking Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia.
Well, the fact is, sir, sometimes you cannot defend the indefensible. You have made a very valiant attempt to try and deflect the blame on the BJP and say that it is politicization, but the video shows what is happening, the information shows what is happening, and if they really did not want to politicize and they really wanted to live up to the thing that there is going to be no misdemeanor or misconduct by any of the members of the Aam Aadmi Party and it will not be tolerated, if they could sack the education minister in Punjab, what about the health minister and his conduct here is a question that's being asked and it still remains. Rashid Kidwai, Tusharji, thank you very, very much. Big news coming in from football, ladies and gentlemen. Straight because it's a Saudi Arabia and Iraq good as they won the FIFA World Cup as they have defeated past champions Argentina. One of the most strongest teams, the most football. The league to Saudi Arabia 2-1. It's a stunner. It's a stunner at the FIFA World Cup that's the world in shock as a result. Has Saudi World Cup victory because underdogs have taken the favorites. That's what's happened. A massive turn of events. Edwin is with us. Edwin, everybody was watching and said deep into injury time also, will Argentina just save the match? But it didn't happen.
I am sorry to say, Anand, I am shocked. I did not think that this is the result. I mean, This was Messi. This is last World Cup, and they start the stage against probably the opponent is going to get in the group. And yeah, Saudi, and you know, I mean,
you have to hold the mic.
Argentina.
He's so emotionally gone. He's a diehard Argentina fan, so he just can't believe it, Edwin. But it's all right. You know, I understand where this emotion is coming from. But Saudi Arabia also played out of their skin, and those
absolutely.
2 goals in 5 minutes, soon after the break,
Absolutely
shocked Argentina.
Very most likely, what a lot of experts are also saying is that, you know, Argentina looks a little sluggish. Because big leagues and athletes some time from their busy schedule, and the way the entire defense collapsed, the way that they were not able to push to the Saudi Arabian defense, Anand, it was very well organized. They did not allow them to win. It was that Messi goal which actually got Argentina that lead. That game, the way Saudi Arabia lined themselves up, goal.
Well,
really
they were 2-1 up, 54 minute, just of the 4% possession, 5 shots of landed. That's how they who had percent of possession with them. They had many target, but somehow that goal was resilient. The Saudi Arabian goal was resilient.
And what was sad for them was one of the goals was Argentina.
Offside, yeah.
It's offside. It was there, but still, this was the team. So many experts said will make it to the last 4, even the final. Everybody was looking for India-Pakistan sort of final in the form of a Brazil-Argentina final. But if this is the result, I don't know.
It's early days. It may be a shock that just perhaps the right shock that they wanted that would wake Argentina up. They are in a group where they still have a chance. But for Saudi Arabia, what a story. They can go ahead and lose all their matches, but as good as won the World
Cup. And that first World Cup we held in the
yeah.
That matters to them a lot more.
It's quite literally home turf, although it's Qatar, but it's home turf. In the Middle East, and they have
they are obviously much more accustomed in the stadium. The other
leagues, and they got some quality football. Those 2 goals were also world class.
Absolutely, yeah, and they needed that kind of a performance against a team like Argentina. But again, Anand, talking about the way forward, if you look at the group, now Argentina has beat the likes of Poland, and they have to and that is really tricky for them.
Yeah,
there's a good possibility that we may see
Argentina but you know, they lose to Saudi Arabia, but Poland and still move on. Interestingly, Poland actually teams fed them out of the war zone, conflict zone, as the Polish team left on a passenger aircraft towards Doha because of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. So there are stories within stories going on here. There is also the aspect of a nation that did not sing its national anthem. We'll talk about that also, but after a very, very short break. But for the moment, absolute shocker.
Oh man,
go ahead.
Still shell shock.
I don't know where he's going to do his emotions and tears in. Edwin, my heart goes out to you. Maybe they'll come back stronger.
Identity. Is it?
No. Last month, there was a bomb blast in Shuka where 2 associates were arrested by the police. Timely arrest was made then, and this Shah came from the police net. And he was off the radar. Probably he must have been off the radar once his friends were arrested by the police. Subsequently, has resurfaced in Mysore, then he has come with a bomb intention of exploding in a crowded place, Mangaluru, which is become a very sensitive area. this PFI ban and subsequent developments, probably that has motivated him to create some disturbances and disturb the law and order, peace and harmony in the district. And fortunately,
Mr. Prakash, even in a normal case, even in a petty crime, if you're out on bail, you have to report to the police station once a week. There are restrictions on your movement, etc. A man who was wanted in 2 cases under Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, which is one of the most stringent criminal laws in this country. He's moving around freely, although under a fake name, fake identity and all of that, but he's freely moving around. 5 different places before this blast happens in Mangalore, and sheer luck. This blast happened when he was traveling alone. But it blasted in a market station.
Life of people. I don't know provisions the when they was I don't know about the conditions of the he was. Unfortunately, he was arrested and UAPA, the court gave him the bail. I don't know now what grounds they believe that he is not a harmless fellow.
Okay.
And today he has been again caught in a terror activity.
Let me ask Aishwarya Mahadev. There are serious charges against this man. Of course, there was this trial, you will happen in Shiva. It happened the Tunga, where Yasin. Sharik reported as absconding. There is how the cops are claiming behind there is evidence to show that he had contact with Tihar, who was a member of IS. He was managing Al-Qaeda's activities in Karnataka. And that he also met Jamisha Mubin, who was the main accused in the Coimbatore blast, which again happened a few weeks ago. And this man had traveled to Coimbatore. Now, fact is that radical Islamist terror in South India is a very he was moving around freely, he was in touch with known terror associates, and yet some people in the South tend to believe that radical Islamist terror is not a problem in the South.
Good evening, Zaka. I think first and foremost, the government here, whether center or state, seems to be far more active and to action against actual threats. First and foremost, I unequivocally condemn any act of terror, irrespective of from which denomination or which side. Anything that invokes violence and creates harm in society is something that necessarily has to be clamped down upon. And I think fundamentalist terror across the South is something that is spreading. But the larger problem is the very fundamental failure of the situation. If a person is the way it is order, then it is monitoring space. Along with Shimoga as well, and looking at agencies that coordinate so much with the state government for other issues, I wonder what happened in this case, because situations like this, if they get out of hand, will foment far more communal and societal instability. And you do realize this is the run up to what you are going to see as a very us versus them.
Okay.
My state. This is massive.
The point BJP has been making is some political parties have been having a soft attitude on terror, some even having some kind of underhand covert political understanding with some of these groups, or at least the political wings of these groups, and that unless you take a bipartisan, almost apolitical view, terror is terror, you are not going to put an end to this problem.
Zaka, I completely agree. And in coastal Karnataka, you see the ruling dispensation hand in hand with an organization they recently banned. You see 2 of their functionaries talking about how this organization that was recently banned, that is something that is very critical to their functioning. You see RSS, BJP Karyakartas also talking about the same. And I think now that they've made this stand, let us also hope that they do sit firm on this resolve.
Okay, let me get Dr. Tara Karta in. There was a feeling that after the PFI ban, that a large part of the activities of such folks, people like Mohammed Sharik and others, there will be a massive clampdown. There is a signaling of intent by the political administration, whether in the center or in the states, to go after these guys. But the fact, and again I keep saying this, it is sheer luck that this bomb exploded in an auto rickshaw where so far there are only 2 people who have been injured. This could have very well gone off in a railway station or in a crowded marketplace. So, with sheer providence that it ended up far less impactful or far less devastating than what it could have been. Is it time now for us to, remove the political rhetoric from this? Yes, you've banned PFI, but that is only the first step. That is not a panacea to radical Islamist terror in South India.
I absolutely agree with you, Zaka. The fact is, we've seen a considerable, all of us, I think, are agreed that there has been considerable Islamic State activity in the south, in Kerala, the Kerala module leading on to Karnataka and elsewhere. And this has been there for some time. It's not just about
Even as the UN has denounced the hardline approach by the Iranian establishment against protests that are now rampant across the country, there is a big development that happened at the FIFA World Cup, ladies and gentlemen. On the one hand, you've just had Saudi Arabia beating Argentina, but on the other, last evening, Iran and the team refused to sing the national anthem before facing England in their opening game of the FIFA World Cup. Ahead of the game, Captain Ali Reza Jahan Baksh had said that the team will decide collectively whether or not to sing the anthem in support of the anti-government protests in Iran. The Iranian players stood with grim looks on their faces as the anthem rang out around the Khalifa International Stadium in comes with the have in just Lusail, lots happening there. Big statement by the Iranian football players.
Definitely, thank you for having me. Actually, this is exactly what is required at times like this. These are desperate times in Iran, and after the very unfortunate in custody of police and of Mahsa Amini, the country has gone through a massive revolutionary protest, which is really required not only within the country but globally. People opportunity to show the world a difference or their solidarity, the right between the wrong, and their participation and not keeping quiet is exactly what is required. And I think they have earned my respect and respect of the people around the globe by not singing their national anthem. Let's not forget, the national anthem of a country is a symbol of a country, representation of a country that explains the beliefs and the culture of a country. And by not participating and seeking that, the Iranian footballs have proven their point that they are against like this, extreme mindset like this, and that a change is much required and not people around the globe, people or a lot of people like Afghanistan itself, who's going through a very hard time, is such an example where should join hands and in their own way protest in a very peaceful manner. I also said that how their coach will react on such way of not participating in the national anthem or not singing the national anthem. To decide.
Absolutely, and it shows a lot of assumption and how much this means, how much what is must have they may have lost 2-6 to England in the match, but Iranians football players standing there and making a statement. just like Asif Ramiz Dawoodi, who was performed by the Saudi Arabia team beating Argentina. What's happening at this FIFA World Cup? Statements galore being delivered.
Anand, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Well, on behalf of almost 2.5 million Indians here, how happy I am send messages to my Saudi friends for such an incredible victory. That's an stunning victory. The game was such like, we were all mesmerized. I was watching your channel and I saw that a timing that we are doing this debate where the jubilant in football and they love this game anything. And today in the first match where they have performed Argentina and Messi, it's incredible. You can feel the of the feeling that I have right now. And right sitting in Jeddah, I would like to congratulate all my Saudi friends all across the world. And I it's something really, really amazing. I know when I go to the university and when I meet my Saudi friends, kind of really wonderful. Anand.
Well, absolutely. Also, the players also very strong. There is a movement. Not one small round of protection is the cut for change. Is the dream being said, told by the people that their time is up?
Anand, let me tell you one thing. See the difference between these two countries. How Saudi is performing, how to sing their own national anthem, which is in fact the pride for any citizen of any country on such a huge platform where billions of people are watching them. Look at the condition of the government there in Iran and how they have failed to control the protest and the rights of women.
Right.
So there should be women, life, freedom. So these are the things that, I think the kind of protest that was seen there, and especially
is what happening in Iran. What is happening in Iran? Will it also spill over into Afghanistan? We have to wait and watch, and let's hope that happens very soon because the people deserve their rights. And we'd see if there is a big people's movement in Afghanistan too. Winding up this edition of The Nation at 5 on that note, Asif Ramiz Dawoodi and Mursal Nurzai, thank you very much. Zaka's ready with Viewpoint.
Massagegate scandal in is new twist. The man who was giving Jen massage was a physiotherapist claimed, but he was actually a rape accused, identified as fellow jail inmate Rinku. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party has dismissed the allegation. Separately in court today, the Enforcement Directorate said that they were not the ones behind the release of the leaked video. They have instead said there were a number of agencies who had access to the CCTV footage, which of course originated in the Tihar jail. But the Delhi Government Council did not buy that argument put forth by the Enforcement Directorate. The political question is this, and a straightforward one tonight. Will the release of Tendra Jain's VVIP footage, if you will, from inside the Tihar jail, where he's seen taking a foot massage, and that too now it appears from a rape accused, will that hurt the Aam Aadmi Party's chances in the upcoming MC?
Still unverified that raised a stone. Minister gets a massage in Tihar cell. BJP tried jail privileges and VIP treatment for a Delhi mantri. Kejriwal called it prescribed physiotherapy and unwarranted BJP aggression.
वो फिजियोथेरेपी कर रहा है, डॉक्टर को रिकमेंड किया था. ऐसा कोई VIP ट्रीटमेंट तंद्र जैन को नहीं मिला.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी घटिया पर उतर आई. किसी इंसान की बीमारी
उसकी बीमारी में जा रहे के इलाज का सीसीटीवी फुटेज गलत तरीके से बाहर निकाल के उसको मनोहर कहानियां सुना सुना के आज किसी की बीमारी का मजाक बना रहे हैं.
And now a new twist, putting AAP more firmly in the dock. It turns out the masseuse was no physiotherapist, but rape-accused Rinku charged under POCSO of raping his teenage daughter. Chumpy giver, not physiotherapist, but rapist. Tihar turned into Thailand, attacked the BJP. On its part, AAP keeps up its our work there for all to see face.
कोई और राजनीतिक दल होता तो उस पार्टी का मुखिया स्वयं कान पकड़ के जनता से माफी मांगता और कहता मेरा भ्रष्ट मंत्री कृत्य कर रहा है, मैं तुरंत उसे बर्खास्त कर
The jail director had filed for contempt, alleging the ED leaked the Tihar jail footage. The enforcement directorate rejected the charge, even as it claimed the veracity of the video remained beyond question. Bear in mind that this latest face-off, one of dozens between AAP and the comes ahead of the on the 4th of December, with AAP the heat.
Just down this video, which now said were not the ones behind the release of this video, leak of the video. These are instances where the Mantri seemingly quote-unquote flouted the jail rules. September 13th, 14th and the 21st. The video shows